Welcome back to Press Review. Let's start by taking a look at today's front pages in the Middle East. The Emirati Gulf News leads its front page reporting on Sheikh Mohammed saying the UAE leadership was always confident of successfully overcoming the global economic crisis as he presented awards to various government sectors during the Best M Government Service Award at the Government Summit in Dubai. The paper also reports that London's River Thames approached peak levels in commuter towns west of London as more rain threatened to prolong 2 months of flooding in the UK. And Saudi's Arab News leads reporting on the Janadriya Cultural and Heritage Festival, which opened yesterday with a colourful ceremony attended by dignitaries, heads of state and members of the royal family. The paper also reports that the Taif police has said that a Saudi woman's claim that an expat taxi driver assaulted her was false, following an investigation in which the police found no evidence of injuries or bruises on the woman. And from Istanbul, Turkey's Hürriyet Daily News reports on the launch of new reunification talks in Cyprus, which are raising hopes amid plans for the first ever cross visits by Turkish and Greek Cypriot envoys to each other's mainland countries in a bid to break the ice between the old rivals. The paper also reports that Prime Minister Recep Tayyip Erdogan has acknowledged that he ordered a media executive to remove news content at the height of the Gezi protests, days after a phone transcript of the exchange which was leaked online. Egypt independently is reporting that a policeman was killed and another was injured in a shootout between security forces and several supporters of the Muslim Brotherhood in Ain al-Shams area. It also reports that Warraq policemen in Giza have arrested 3 men after allegedly throwing a bomb at the police station. Authorities said the men were members of the Muslim Brotherhood. And now let's take a look at the top headlines in the UK. The Times leads the paper today reporting that details of an encounter between Andrew Mitchell and Downing Street police officers on the night before the Plebgate incident can be disclosed today, after a Metropolitan Police email reveals that officers on Britain's most closely guarded street in London had asked for advice on how to handle his repeated demands to be allowed to cycle through the main gates, in contravention of the security rules. The paper also reports that a Muslim who carried out a suicide bombing in Syria was an associate of convicted terrorists and was radicalized in the UK, and also features a picture of a shopper in Manchester as she is swept off her feet with winds over 100 miles per hour. And the Daily Telegraph also features a picture of the shopper as she is taken to the ground by what the paper describes as hurricane force winds. It says that the army officer in charge of the flood recovery effort declared that Britain is in the grip of an unparalleled natural crisis. The paper also reports that the 3 main political parties, the Conservatives, Labour and Lib Democrats, will unite to rule out an independent Scotland using the pound, as it intends to undermine the SNP's economic case for an independent Scotland. And The Guardian leads today reporting that Britain's ultra-low interest rates will remain in force until after next year's general elections, as the Governor of the Bank of England said that the economic recovery was neither balanced nor sustainable. And last from the UK, The Independent dedicates its front page to its campaign of stopping the slaughter of elephants for their ivory, as leaders from around the globe meet in London today to talk about the crisis. It says unless international action is taken, the elephants could be extinct within a decade. And now let's take a look at the top stories in international papers. The Washington Post leads today reporting on the winter storm that will be hitting the Washington region after it swept through large parts of the southern region. The paper says more than 3,000 flights were cancelled nationally due to the weather conditions. It also reports that for the first time since the federal and state health insurance marketplaces opened early last fall, the number of people who signed up for coverage exceeded the government's expectations for the month in January, bringing the overall total to about 3.3 million. China Daily's front page leads reporting that China will accelerate changes to its energy structure and place tougher controls on exhaust emissions and dust in its fight against air pollution. The paper also says that a new report reveals that China's capital, Beijing, is on the verge of being unfavorable for human living, as it came in at number 39 out of 40 global cities in terms of their environment. And finally, from Russia, the Moscow Times leads its front page today reporting that President Vladimir Putin held another meeting with cabinet ministers to discuss the faltering economy. Putin started out by asking Economic Development Minister Alexei Yulikayev to report on finding ways to give momentum to an economy whose growth slowed to 1.3% last year. The paper also continues its coverage on the Sochi Winter Olympics as it takes a look at the Federal Security Service surrounding the Olympics. And for more updates, visit us on Levant.tv. Thanks for watching and bye for now.